Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this Monday evening briefing on COVID-19 in our community. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend. Today's numbers, we'll go over that. We'll go over some profiles specific to our ICU, the Governor's Safe Return order, as well as the Mayor's executive orders, and of course our regular Act of Courage. Today's numbers, these are system-wide numbers for all of our four healthcare organizations: Forrest General, Merit Health Wesley, Samurai, and Hattiesburg Clinic. As of this morning, 24,718 tests have been conducted. 2,302 of those have come back positive. Of course, those are not all in Forrest and Lamar counties. They're not all active cases. 21,565 have come back negative. We have 851 tests which are pending right now. Right now in the hospital, we have 51 patients between Merit Health Wesley and Forrest General who are positive for COVID. That's about 7 over the average for the past 2 weeks. We have an additional 14 who are under investigation right now. In the ICU, we have 24 confirmed COVID-positive patients, also well over our average over the past 2 weeks. This is how these lay out. As you can see, over 50 now for the first time in hospitalizations, over 20, almost to 25 when it comes to ICU utilization between the two hospitals. Let's talk about who's in the ICU right now. Of those 24, the average age is 61. They come from 12 different counties, but about a third of them are from Forrest County. And so ultimately, we want you to know, what we want you to walk away with today, is that as of today, our local hospital system now has the highest number of COVID-positive patients thus far in the hospital and the ICU. I want to repeat that. Our local hospital system now has the highest number of COVID-positive patients, both in the hospital and in the ICU. This should give us pause as we go forward to understand that we are in the midst of a big wave right now. We also see this in terms of our total active cases as a region. Let's go to that. Right now, Forrest County added 9 cases today to go to 878. Over the weekend, we saw 9 additional cases on Saturday, 9 on Sunday, 9 today. Lamar County, we had about 14 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, 7 today to go to 465, bringing our metro area total to 1343. Our 5-day rolling average, these are the number of new positive cases on a given day, with average with the 2 previous days and the 2 days after that. Forrest County is just under 15, went down today. Lamar County is just under 10. Total combined, though, over 25, and just a little bit under that right now. In terms of our active cases, this is we estimate an active case by the number of people who have tested positive in the last 14 days, because COVID tends to have a 14-day or fewer life cycle. If you've tested positive in the past 14 days, chances are you are an active case. And so right now, 148 in Forrest County, and in Lamar County, we're at 124. And this is kind of how it's laid out over the past, since April. We had the big spike kind of in the middle of May. Those numbers went down. Forrest County's went down. If you remember, this time last week, we were just at 100 in terms of active cases. Lamar County actually for a few days had more active cases in Forrest County. But with Lamar County now well into 120, and then Forrest County approaching 150 again, we're at the highest number of active cases for the metro area since this began. And so when take into account the hospitalizations, the ICU, the number of active cases, this is a time to be concerned and to take caution how you move forward, because ultimately, even with all this going on, we have to go back to our original goals, which is protecting the vulnerable, people over the age of 60, people with underlying or chronic health conditions, not overrunning the healthcare system by slowing the spread, understanding, again, highest number of hospitalizations, highest number of ICU utilizations right now, and then prioritizing public health while we try to continue letting the private sector have the space it needs. Widespread availability of testing has been big. The wearing of masks, we continue to push that, watching our own data, and of course listening to all voices. A couple of things policy-wise. Governor Reeves Safe Return order, he had talked about last week opening things up even more. He has decided against that. He's going to keep his Safe Return order in place for another 2 weeks, and all of his previous executive orders are stay in effect until July the 20th. Same thing for municipal orders. The mask order for retail, for barbershops and salons, for spas, that stays into effect as well as the mask order for every employee of any essential or non-essential business. If you work around other people, or if you work in the same room with the public, you have to have a mask on. That continues until July 20th as well. And I want people to understand that masks will be part of our everyday lives for the foreseeable future. And the message here is taking all of the local data that we're seeing, listening to all of the statewide data and statewide voices that we're seeing, and hearing, it's important that we stay the course. And the one good thing about this is we haven't had a death in the last 10 days. However, when you have a third of your ICU patients from Forrest County, that could change very easily. But while we continue to remember all those who are sick right now in our thoughts and prayers, it's important that we engage in good behavior and stay the course to protect ourselves and to protect those around us. Finally, our act of courage. The United Way of Southeast Mississippi right now is doing a survey to try and figure out how they can best serve our community during this pandemic. And so with all the United Ways across the state, they are doing a survey at unitedwayscms.org/coronavirus. That's unitedwayscms.org/coronavirus. And even if you haven't had coronavirus, or if your job hasn't been affected, maybe you haven't been affected at all, please go fill out this survey and to give them the data they need in terms of trying to serve our community. And finally, as we start the week, wash your hands, take care of yourself. Please wear a mask if you're out in public. Do only what is essential, and remember, you are safer at home. Please do the right thing for yourself and other people. And courage.